How to set up a walk list outreach. Once you've created an audience, it will appear as an audience card at the top of the admin dashboard here. Click into the audience at the top to start creating outreach to that group. Once you're in the audience, go to the Outreach tab, select New Outreach, and then click Walk List. On this first page, you'll be prompted to name your walk list and set the first few settings, including the hours your event will be live, what you'd like to show on your person's preview card, and whether or not you want to include all household members, even if they're not in this audience. For most outreaches, where you've cut a list specifically for this outreach, you'll probably want to keep this option toggled off. When you're ready with these settings, click Next. On the next screen, you'll pick the questions your volunteers will ask and record results for in their walk. These questions can be preset for the entire account, so you'll see the first few questions that pop up are our preset questions, but you can also edit them per outreach. For example, the account-wide questions might be things like, will you vote for your candidate's name? Something you know you'll want to ask in every outreach. But here you can also add any question you'd like your volunteers to ask just in this event. So for this one, maybe I'll write, will you attend our event on Sunday? I can toggle the question type to a yes or no, range of 1 to 5, select, number, any of those options. I'll say yes or no for this one. And I can also customize the icon type here with hundreds of different icon choices. Once you're finished with adding your questions, click Next. On the next page, you'll be able to filter by housing and geography. Select any of these housing types that you'd like to include in your walk lists. You can also narrow it down here to whether the occupants are renters or homeowners, and narrow down by your geography. Let's say Supervisor's District 6 in San Francisco as an example, and when you're ready, click Next. On the next page, you can filter the audience for this walk list based on their past responses to your questions. As a note, you can only do this in outreaches. You'll remember that when you're cutting an audience list in the audience cutter, you can only filter by demographic information that comes from the voter file. Here in your specific outreaches, you can target your outreach to how voters have interacted with your campaign in the past. So just click Add Question Filter to add more, and just like with the audience cutter, you can include, exclude, or narrow by certain questions. For example, if you are planning a walk for your GOTV, you can sort this list to only include folks who have already said they're voting yes for your campaign. You can also filter for answers from specific past outreaches that you've done by selecting and clicking Add Question Filter, and then clicking Select an Outreach up here on the top right, and you can choose a specific outreach. So maybe we only want to include folks who weren't home in the last walking outreach that we did. So we would select that outreach from the list and then scroll down to not home. That will enable us to only visit folks who weren't home on our last walk. When you're done narrowing your list by past answers, you'll click Create at the bottom right. For the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to scroll straight back out to an audience so I can show you the next step that you'll want to customize. That's going to be your turfs. Here we are in demo audience. So let's imagine that this is the dashboard that you've just created for your new walking list. You'll scroll over to the Map tab to customize your turfs. So every clipboard here in the walking outreach is also a turf shape, and you can customize every single one. Click and drag these turfs within the outreach at any time to change their shape. Just as a quick note, if you're really doing a walk, don't cut your turfs this way. You'll have a volunteer revolt on your hands if you do, but just for the sake of the example, you can click and drag these little dots to change the shape of your turfs. The dots you see here on the turf map are actually different building types, so you can get a feel for the type of residence that you'll be including in your turfs here. When you're satisfied with your turfs, you can start bringing in your volunteers. Just a quick tip from us too. To streamline your in-person walk, you can generate these printable cover sheets in Universe that have QR codes all leading to a unique volunteer clipboard. So when you get on site to start your walking event, you can just wrap these cover sheets around stacks of lit and hand them out to each volunteer to get them started quickly on walking. So all they have to do to get started is scan the QR codes, and it goes to a unique turf that helps them start walking right away. Hope this